So I also wanted to give you a little bit of a background in relation to hypnosis, where it came from. Uh, what is it, what people have achieved in relation to hypnosis through the centuries. Because this is something that it didn't start yesterday. The Egyptians used to be able to work on hypnosis a lot of the times by obviously with working with something that was very close to mesmerism. In Europe, centuries afterwards, Anton Mesmer, which was an Austrian doctor, what they did was to be able to do mesmerism, which he called animal magnetism. And he used to work with different people on absorbing and deviating energy through metals, either with copper or with iron, different kinds of metals. And he used to experiment with people. The wealthy in Europe paid people like him in order to have shows to be able to subsidize energy from one place into another, and he developed the first techniques about hypnosis in relations to suggestions, because by actually deviating the energy from one person into another through what he called animal magnetism, people went into trances. So that's how he did it. Afterwards, in England, different doctors developed different things in relation to using hypnosis as clinicians. In France, too, in different places for different things. In the States, probably in the 1950s or so, many clinicians started in psychiatry, developing hypnosis in psychiatry. And I'm going to name to you some of the doctors that did that in the 1950s and 1960s, especially in the areas of the west of the country, California and so forth. So this is something that has been used clinically for a long, long time. The beginning was experimental, and then it's been slowly introduced in psychiatry and in psychology, okay, and as a profession by itself. Now, you could use hypnosis as a form of behavioral therapy because you'll be working with the subconscious mind in many different ways. One of the ways, or the best way to be able to target the issues with hypnosis, is to be able to trespass something that is called the critical factor. The critical factor, which is, some people call it the limit, others call it the critical factor, it's like an imaginary membrane that is between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. A person that might be able to focus into something that is important for them, but they cannot focus on something important for them because, let's face it, if someone has a lot of anxiety because it's over-medicated or because it's very stressed for an emotional issue or because they have a phobia, they want to concentrate on something, but they can't because they're in 1,000 places at the same time. A person that does that, it's because something that they do, it's benefiting them. In other words, they have a benefit behind what they do, which protects them from not doing it. Which means that when you trespass either through intonations of the word or slowing down or different techniques that I will tell you about that later, then people will be able to focus more into what they really want that they couldn't be before because they couldn't understand. In other words, now we're talking about a priority. So trespassing the critical factor or the imaginary membrane that limits the person to focus into something, hypnosis is something that is marvelous.